I miss you.
A young Madeline Swan witnesses the murder of her mother by Lyot cipher Saffin, a man seeking revenge for the death of his family at the hands of Swan's father, Mr. White, under orders from Ernst Stavro Blofeld. Swan shoots Saffin and flees, falling into a frozen lake. However, Saffin rescues her. Decades later, after Blofeld's arrest, Swan travels to Matera with James Bond and persuades him to visit the grave of his former lover, Vesper Lynd, to help him move on. While Bond visits the tomb, a hidden explosive detonates, and he is ambushed by Spectre operatives led by Primo, a mercenary with a bionic eye. As they escape together, Swan receives a congratulatory phone call from Blofeld. Suspecting her of betrayal, Bond sends Swan away, vowing never to see her again. 5 years later, Spectre agents infiltrate an MI6 laboratory, kidnapping scientist Valdo Abrachev. Secretly working for Saffin, Abrachev helps them steal Project Heracles, a bioweapon made of programmable, DNA-targeting nanobots developed under M's supervision. Meanwhile, Bond, now retired in Jamaica, is approached by his CIA ally Felix Leiter and State Department agent Logan Ash. They ask him to extract Abrachev from a Spectre gathering in Cuba. Before accepting, Bond is warned by Nomi, his successor as 007, to stay out of her way. She also puts him in touch with him, who refuses to explain the nature of Project Heracles. Bond infiltrates the Spectre party with Leiter's Cuban agent, Paloma. From his prison cell in Belmarsh, Blofeld remotely oversees the event through Primo's bionic eye and releases a nanobot mist intended to kill Bond. However, under Saffin's orders, Abrachev secretly reprogrammed the nanobots to target and eliminate all Spectre members instead. Bond captures Abrachev and delivers him to Ash and Leiter aboard a trawler. As Bond interrogates Abrachev, the scientist glances at Ash, exposing him as a traitor. Ash shoots Leiter, traps him and Bond below deck, and then detonates explosives to sink the ship before escaping with Abrachev. Leiter dies, but Bond manages to survive. Back in London, Bond seeks to question Blofeld at Belmarsh, but Blofeld will only speak to his psychiatrist, Swan. Meanwhile, Saffin coerces Swan into infecting herself with nanobots designed to kill Blofeld. MI6 arranges for Bond to visit Blofeld, but when he touches Swan, he unknowingly transfers the deadly nanobots onto himself. Unable to face Blofeld, Swan leaves, saying she is going home. During their conversation, Blofeld admits to orchestrating the explosion at Vesper's grave to make Bond believe Swan had betrayed him. Enraged, Bond briefly strangles Blofeld, unknowingly infecting him. Moments later, Blofeld dies from the nanobots. Bond travels to Norway and reunites with Swan at her childhood home, where he meets her 5-year-old daughter, Mathilde. Although Swan insists Mathilde is not his child, the resemblance is undeniable. Swan shares intelligence her father gathered about Saffin and his secret island base. Soon after, MI6 warns Bond that Ash and his men are approaching. A high-speed chase ensues through the forest, forcing Bond to send Swan and Mathilde into hiding. Bond confronts Ash over Leiter's murder and kills him before taking down the rest of his men. However, Saffin manages to abduct Swan and Mathilde. With help from Q, Bond and Nomi use a submersible glider to infiltrate Saffin's nanobot factory on his island. Their mission: eliminate Abrachev and Saffin while rescuing Swan and Mathilde. Bond fights through Saffin's men, but Saffin escapes with Mathilde. Meanwhile, Swan overpowers Primo and reunites with Bond. Together, they locate Mathilde, whom Saffin has abandoned. Nomi kills Abrachev by kicking him into an acid pool and then escorts Swan and Mathilde off the island. Bond convinces M to authorize a missile strike on the facility from HMS Dragon. He eliminates Saffin's remaining forces and kills Primo. Just as he prepares to leave, Saffin reappears, shooting Bond multiple times before smashing a vial containing nanobots specifically programmed to kill Swan and Mathilde. Despite his injuries, Bond manages to shoot Saffin dead. However, he realizes that with the nanobots now inside him, he can never be near Swan or Mathilde again. Accepting his fate, Bond opens the facility's blast doors, ensuring the missile strike can proceed. In his final moments, Bond radios Swan, expressing his love for her and Mathilde. Swan confirms that Mathilde is his daughter, and Bond responds that he knew all along. As the missiles rain down, Bond is killed in the explosion, sacrificing himself to protect those he loves. ATMI6, M, Moneypenny, Nomi, Q, and Bill Tanner gather to toast Bond's memory. Later, as Swan drives Matilda to Matera, she begins to tell her daughter the story of her father, James Bond. Thank you for watching, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe.